What is the easiest reptile to care for? Put your comments down below and make sure to watch the rest of this video to find out. So out of all the animals that we keep here, most people, in my opinion, would say the easiest animal to care for would be the bearded dragon. Most people, when they think of the easiest reptile to take care of, bearded dragon usually comes to the top of the mind. They're definitely not the easiest to take care of. I'd say they are one of the most common pets, which is why most people think they are the easiest to take care of. Now, they are easy to handle. They do seem to enjoy being handled and are fairly easy to handle. But what makes them not the easiest reptile to care for is everything that goes into keeping them. They are they are very expensive to keep. One bearded dragon like this, or a pair of them, adults, they're going to be getting anywhere from 18 to 24 inches full grown, and they are going to be needing a large enclosure. This is a 4 foot long by 2 foot deep by 2 foot high enclosure. That is the minimum recommended enclosure size for 1 to 2 adult bearded dragons. That enclosure is going to cost you a minimum of probably $250 to $300. Next is lighting and heating. Bearded dragons require very specialized lighting, UVB lighting, that needs to be changed out every 6 months to a year, depending on what kind of UVB bulbs you're getting. They also require heat lamps, basking temperatures up to 110 to 120 degrees. It's a lot of power, a lot of light, and those bulbs are going to blow and need to be constantly changed too. Food, they eat a lot. They eat veggies every day. They require crickets and roaches and all sorts of bugs and superworms and all that kind of stuff. So they're definitely not the easiest to care for, just because of the fact that they are actually fairly expensive to take care of properly. You can take care of them inexpensively, but they're not going to be cared for properly, and thus you're not going to have a happy or healthy animal. The next thing someone might say is turtles. You just put them in a tank with water, give them some food, and that's it. As most turtles, like you can see these guys coming up right here. Turtles like these guys are not going to be the most expensive. Most of these red-eared sliders and yellow-bellied sliders you can get for less than $20 a piece, so they're not an expensive animal to purchase. Their tank, on the other hand, is going to be, their caging requirements is much higher. For a single red-eared sliders can get up to 12 inches long. That is a big turtle. That turtle is not going to fit in a 10-gallon tank. It's not going to fit in a 40-gallon tank. That one red-eared slider, when it's full grown, is going to require a minimum of a 125-gallon tank or a small stock pond like this right here. So that alone is going to run you a few $100s. Again, just like bearded dragons, they require special lighting and special heat. They require basking spots, not as hot as the bearded dragons, but they do require the special UVB lighting, which again needs to be replaced every 6 months to a year, depending on what type of UVB you buy. Filtration is very important and very expensive. Turtles are very, very dirty, so you need to get a good filter. Around my small turtle pond right here, I have this FX6 canister filter. That filter right there alone, just the filter, runs about $450. So that is why turtles do not make the easiest pets. So next, you might think axolotls. They don't seem to require a whole lot. Some water, some food, and they're good. While axolotls may not seem that difficult to care for, they are actually, they take a lot to care for. They need consistent water changes and water cleaning. That takes a lot of time out of your day cleaning these guys. Their water clarity needs to be very, very good. Again, you're going to need a big filter on them. Any animal that's going to live the majority of their life in water needs very good filtration and constant water cleaning and partial water changes. So while they don't need any special lighting like the bearded dragons and the turtles, they don't need heat lamps. They don't even need water heaters because they actually prefer their waters on the colder side. They do require very, very good filtration. And you have to get filtration that does not disturb the water a lot because they like their water still. They don't like fast moving water. So you have to invest in a very good high quality filter that's going to keep their water clean, yet that's not going to disturb their water and move it around too much because they don't like that. So I actually have two animals that I'm going to show you that I personally think out of all the animals that we keep here are the easiest reptiles to care for. They are both geckos. So if you've been watching our videos, what two gecko species do you think that I'm talking about? Leave it down in the comments below. So number 2 on the list of reptiles easiest to keep is going to be, in my opinion, the leopard gecko. The leopard gecko, for me, gets one of the easiest animals to care for the fact that they do not require any special lighting as they are nocturnal animals. They feed primarily on mealworms as a staple diet, which makes feeding them relatively easy. You get one of these dishes right here, you fill it up with mealworms, and when it gets empty, you fill it up some more. They require a small water dish, spot cleaning, and a good fun thing about leopard geckos is most leopard geckos are fairly potty trained in the fact that they will find one corner of their enclosure and will almost always go to the bathroom in that same corner. So you clean up that corner once a day, and cleaning is made very easily with these guys. You give them their food, you give them a hide, you just make sure that their enclosure is warm. They said they don't need any special heating, they don't need UV, they don't need basking spotlights. All they need is a warm enclosure, which can be maintained with just keeping the room that they're in warm in the mid 70s to low 80s. Or you put a ceramic heat emitter or deep heat projection on their enclosure, or even an under tank heater as long as you can make sure that it is on a thermostat so it doesn't get too hot for them. That is why leopard geckos come in number 2 for us out of all the animals that we keep here. And number 1, the easiest, in my opinion, reptile to keep out of the reptiles that we keep here at the Reptile Haven Wildlife Center is crested geckos. In my opinion, crested geckos are the easiest reptile to keep here for the fact that, 1, this wonderful lady has a fully bioactive enclosure, so it makes cleaning extremely easy. I clean down the glass once in a while, and that's really it for her. All of the bugs in the soil take care of any messes she might make. You do have to mist her. They do like higher humidity, so I am misting them very often, but once it's working again, you can see it's not running right now. She actually has a waterfall built into this enclosure that runs 24/7, and that keeps the humidity up and running in this enclosure, so I don't have to worry about humidity that much. So I don't have to worry about misting consistently. Or if you get a misting system that takes care of that for you, it's going to be a little bit more money that you have to spend, but it just makes the ease of care for these guys so much better. Feeding them, they eat mostly a powdered diet that you mix with water, and that is their main source of food. In the wild, they eat very ripened fruits. They will also eat bugs, so I throw in crickets and doobie roaches in here once in a while. And she is good to go. That's all she needs. And she doesn't require heat. Leopard geckos prefer on the cool side. So no heat, no special lighting, as they're nocturnal geckos. So no UVB lights, no heat lamps, These guys don't require the deep heat projectors or ceramic heat emitters or heat mats that leopard geckos do, because they like it cool again. These guys like it room temperature. Mid to low 70s for a crested gecko is what they prefer. If it gets too warm, it's actually detrimental to their health. So what do you guys think? Was I right? Is the crested gecko the easiest reptile to care for? Make sure to let me know down in the comments what you think. If you have another animal that you think is the easiest to care for, please let us know. If you've seen any of the other animals that we have around in our zoo that you think are easier to care for, let me know what you think and why you think those animals are easier to care for. Don't forget, we're about to come into the first week of October, which means 7 days of videos. Every day at 9 a.m. you'll get a video uploaded from us. If you have any ideas or thoughts of what you would like to see from us, make sure to leave it down in the comments, and I will make sure that that video gets made just for you. We'll see you soon.